Okay. Yeah, now we are online.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome at this moved JCasC office hours meeting. I started minutes of meeting for that one. The meeting we have now, I just forgot to change the date, is 29. Sorry. We have Oleg, Nicolas, Sue, and Jon or John. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it and what's your surname. So if you can edit your name, I will put the link to minutes of meeting in the chat. Let's start with the follow-up of the previous meeting. We were talking about the detaching configurator. Oh no, that's the previous meeting follow-up. Let's move to action items. Oleg to add JCasC to the next Cloud Native SIG meeting agenda. Well,
done.
Happened. And then I misunderstood the decision, so I started creating mailing lists, Gitter chat rooms, and everything. And then Oleg made me aware of the fact that it's not what we've decided. So I have a better internet connection now, so maybe we can make sure that we all understand each other this time. So what you're suggesting, and I assume what others agreed on, is that we stay at the Cloud Native SIG. We don't create separate configuration as code SIG. We can mention that we have office hours on the Cloud Native SIG page and maybe reports at the Cloud Native SIG if we are discussing something interesting during JCasC hours. Is that correct now?
For me, whatever works. Okay. So yeah, that's what we agreed at the previous meeting. And the main reason for that was to avoid creating new entities. But if your preference is to go with configuration as code SIG, I'm also fine with that. Though, yeah, it seems that pipeline team doesn't want to be a part of the same SIG, and they would prefer something separate. But yeah, even without pipeline system configuration, there should be a lot of topics. But yeah,
I still we have this meeting, and we can maybe include stuff if we like regarding Groovy hooks, for example, if we need. But I prefer your idea, especially now with the upcoming months. I'm going to be busy. We are all quite busy, so let's stay with Cloud Native SIG. I will just update the PR I created with updates on Cloud Native SIG instead of creating the new one. And all the people that I have invited to new mailing list. Sorry for spam. I will get.
Yeah, right. So there will be Cloud Native SIG meeting next week. It's my plan. So yeah, if you're interested, you could just do a status update there.
I'm gonna most probably I will send a mail with the update, because if everything goes according to the plan, I'm gonna be somewhere deep in Swedish woods, Swedish forest without the internet.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
So yeah, so I'm gonna fix the mess and send. Sorry, and send the update for next Cloud Native SIG. Okay, the next action point was, yeah, Alexandra was working on 2 issues in one PR. One was regarding introducing text fields under configuration as code subpage in Manage Jenkins, so we can provide a new configuration source, and that was my request. I was having trouble when I was using Jenkins local installed locally, like just an app, not a Docker container. And since I want to work on a blog post where I describe 2 use cases for running Jenkins as code, and I want to make it as easy as possible for people that are not very fluent with terminal yet, they are just starting, then I really wanted to have a possibility to manage the location of configuration source via UI. and it's done. The other one was dry run, and I don't think that one is finished. We will hopefully discuss that today. Then I was supposed to release new alpha. Oh, that was a long time ago. We in Pragma had messed up something with our release mechanism. So Nicola released a couple of times alpha and then release candidate 1. And last week, MES released release candidate 2 because we wanted to have this thing implemented that Alexandra, the UI text field for configuration source location. So that one is done. And then, oh yeah, I did not discuss merging to master. Maybe there is enough of us now at the meeting so we can talk about that. And somebody to fix the master branch while master branch was fixed. So we're more or less good. Oleg, you were attending the previous meeting. Is there anything else you want to mention regarding that one, or should we move on?
Nothing specific from me.
Okay, very good. So, well, the next point in the agenda is release status, but it's basically the JCasC status. We had planned to release official 1.0 sometime in the middle of August. It didn't happen, and that's not a huge problem. But we definitely want to have it before Jenkins World, sometime next week or yeah, at the beginning of the following week. That's my opinion. So I'm looking at the release 1.0 milestone, and I hope you can see that we only have one must-have issue. And actually, when I looked at the issue, there was a discussion about it, and then Nicola lowered the priority, and Oleg put it back to must-have. So I think since both of you are present, maybe we can discuss if we really must have it in the release 1.0.
Well, if you don't have it 1.0, then potentially you start breaking plugins dependent on your plugin when it goes beyond 1.0. Removing a library is a backward compatible change in Jenkins terms because there is no plugin installation. So if you do it after 1.0, you may potentially break something depending on JCasC. And it's hard to predict what exactly you break because they may be just relying on Snake YAML and taking it from your plugin.
Nicola, any comment?
Yeah, I agree with Oleg on the general principle that actually we don't have any mechanism in Jenkins to isolate plugin bundle dependencies. So I was thinking that his main concern was that once we shed Snake YAML, if we have reference in the API, then it will change the API. That's the reason I was lowering priority, because we don't have any more reference to Snake YAML in the public API. It's just a bundle dependency. So for sure, if we have some other plugins that rely on config code to get this dependency in class path, which is probably the worst way to manage dependencies, then there is some compatibility risk.
Yeah, right. So my preference would be to either shade Snake YAML or maybe to detach it to a separate API plugin. Though detaching it to API plugin doesn't help much because, yeah, the only reason why we do that is compatibility.
Yeah, Snake YAML doesn't used to be backward compatible, so we can choose this API plugin approach.
Yes, so my preference would be to shade it anyway. Alternative option would be to just add section about that to developer documentation, so that it's explicit that Snake YAML shouldn't be used from the plugin. It won't help much because because people will be still implementing that. They will be potentially getting into upper bound dependency issues if the YAML plugins try to implement JCasC and also have their own YAML functionality. So shading before the release looks like the most safe approach to me.
And are you able to estimate the how big is the issue? How much time it can take to solve it?
Hard to say. So if you're lucky, it's just 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you're not lucky, maybe 5 years. Because it really depends on how Snake YAML is implemented internally. If it does a lot of reflection calls to its own classes, then you won't be able to really shade it.
Okay, so if we add it as must-have, then we may end up releasing in 5 years.
Well, 5 years is, of course, it was a joke, but the idea that it's hard to estimate what this task would take.
So, do you have time to have a look, at least to be able to estimate, or it doesn't really make sense?
Not before Jenkins Vault.
Okay. So let me have a look at it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but let me have a look at it, and let's. I will talk with Mes, maybe with some of you on Gitter. So I understand that's the most safe approach, and.
So there are several examples of shading libraries in Jenkins. So, for example, in Docker traceability, in yet another Docker plugin, etc. The main problem is that currently you cannot shade libraries in plugin POM. So you need to create another model which just does library shading and then to add it as a dependency. It's a bit weird, but we haven't fixed the Jenkins tutorial for that yet.
Right. So that was my question, because I tried to use this approach, and doing so, I just can't have all modules open in my IDE, because the path to shade the package isn't included in JetBrains IDE. So that's a bit confusing.
I'll paste an example to the chat.
Okay.
So it's it's a problem for IDE, of course, but mostly it's a problem for Maven tooling. But at least in the case of JCasC, you don't need to change the project structure because you already have multi-model project.
Okay, so as I said, I will try to have a look at it and continue the discussion at Gitter, and we'll see where it takes us.
Okay.
Is there, so that was the only one that we had as must-have in release 1.0. Does any of you see any other issue that, or maybe we don't even have an issue for that, but something that we need before release 1.0? We have some issues that are bugs.
I think we need to scrap issues because this list which we mostly created a few months ago, so it may be just obsolete.
Yeah, you mean
the milestone one.
Okay, so let's maybe start with what we have here. That one, we had a workaround for that.
Yeah. Am I still assigned to it?
No.
Okay, just to make sure.
So this is still an issue and it should be solved before 1.0, right?
Yeah, it should be solved before. No, actually, it doesn't. It's just a developer issue, so it doesn't really block any kind of release.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess that once you go to 1.0 release, you will remove beta annotations from your APIs, so that this issue will be likely solved anyway.
Okay. But what's the solution for that to use? This is the workaround we're using now, right?
Yeah, so the workaround effectively means that you run with a newer Jenkins core version. That's it.
So that's okay. This is documentation, that one we just discussed. This getting started documentation, it is kind of what I will have in my blog post. So once I work at the blog post, I will improve the documentation, at least the part I want to work on. That one, I guess here you are still assigned.
Yes, so I contributed some pull requests to error propagation. API was all reviewed and improved. We could close that. One point that I believe that the configurator API is a must for the plugin. So yeah, I consider it as a part of that. Since there is a decision to not do that, yeah, I think it can be just closed.
The issue.
Yeah. So main things have been done.
Nice. Thanks. Support configuring YAML path in manage Jenkins. Oh well, this is what Alexandra was doing, and it's done. And then prepare migration description. That's also documentation, and it will be part of what I will working out. And this is just a cosmetic change in the configuration as code text in manage Jenkins. So that's a piece of cake. And then let's see what we have here. Jenkins down after installing plugin. Yeah, but it may be not JCasC related. Is that what you meant, Nicola, by this comment?
All right, was this one I'm missing context to get more information on what's going on.
Yeah, +1, we need more information here.
Yeah. So what about that one? Okay. Is this from 2 people? Yeah, report.
So currently all custom configurators should provide schema jelly, right?
And it's missing. Is that what you're saying, or?
It's my guess.
Yeah. Anyway, that seems like something that should be resolved before the release 1.0.
Great.
Cannot install plugin.
Could you please scroll down?
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I'll just open the tracker in parallel. So cannot install one. Concurrent modification exception in reactor. It looks type not present exception proxy. So this is an issue with class loading, most likely binary conflict.
I think we should at least investigate. I mean, if yeah, we should investigate. Maybe we'll end up removing it from the milestone, but for now it seems like a bug.
Yeah, maybe we should discuss a wider feature topic. So we have plugin installation support in JCasC. Currently, it's announced as a beta feature. So if we keep it as a beta feature in 1.0, then these issues are probably not a problem.
I'm sorry. If we keep plugin installation as beta in 1.0, then what? I did not get the last.
Then all issues called by attempts to install plugins with JCasC won't be a priority for us.
Okay.
And it's possible to keep them.
Okay. But the install configuration is called plugin. That's not plugin management in our plugin, right?
Maybe for me it seems to be related, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, what I understood is that this person was trying to install configuration as code and got an error. So yeah, there was a failure installing configuration as code support. Well,
from what you may see in the log, there is a plugin which needs to be updated, matrix authorization. So yeah, the real problem is that he gets into issues when there is a restart. So it's not a problem that such thing happens during the installation. It happens when you update the dependencies. But concurrent modification in a reactor, yeah, this is something weird. I understand why it may happen, but yeah, whatever happens here is a Jenkins bug.
Okay.
So I suggest resubmitting a JIRA ticket to Jenkins code first. Because, yeah, we've been doing something for lib task reactor to prevent concurrent modifications. But yeah, then there was a decision that they cannot happen there.
Okay.
Maybe they can.
And then you said that we can keep plugin installation as beta and then just down prioritize or plugin management related issues, right?
Yeah.
And is anyone objecting? Because I want to release 1.0 and I'm happy to release it without some features. I'm not happy to release it without features that don't really work. So I'm perfectly okay with keeping the plugin management in the first release.
It's another question to Nicola.
Right. So the main issue here is that we hardly can have unit tests for this feature. So the reason we had various regressions to happen here. So that's something I can invest some time to test, but I hardly can guarantee that there is no later impacts if we have something else to fix.
Yeah. But like, we don't have to rush. I think, I mean, I honestly think it won't be the end of the world if we have it as beta and just develop it when we have more time, not the crazy conference period, and just add it, this functionality. Well, as soon as we have it, but without rushing. And then, as John commented on Gitter, as soon as the plugin is stable, we should release it in his opinion. So. I mean, I'm not going to stop you from working on it if you want, but I just want to know if you're okay with down prioritizing it.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure that we will discover some other bugs in other places. So we know this one might be broken at some point, and we probably will discover there is some other corner cases and. in other places on this plugin. So the fact that we release 1.0 doesn't mean it's just perfect, and we won't discover any issue.
Yeah.
Okay, and there were some issues with exporting tools installation. Failed to.
Yeah, this specific one is a bit confusing. Because once a cloud plugin has created nodes to absorb load, those nodes are registered on Jenkins, and we can't distinguish with standard nodes. So we will try to export them as legitimate nodes. And in the case of the specific EC2 plugin, there is some blocker for it, but we would have to exclude them, and I don't know yet how we can do.
Okay, but when this error, when this error happens, does it stop Jenkins?
No, it just blocks the export.
It just blocks the export. Okay. So for me, if it's not breaking Jenkins, I would have it in release 1.0 as should have maybe.
Okay.
Unless any of you has strong opinion about, like, yeah, that we should do something else. But I'm just trying to be reasonable. Like, we won't make it perfect for sure. Let's as long as yeah, it was mentioned, it's stable enough. I would say we may try to. And then there's another failed to export, and yeah, so it generates YAML. There is just an error.
Yeah. So this one is for Artifactory plugin, and there is a few of them, comparable ones with just badly designed plugins.
So the solution should be on the plugin site.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have yeah. So we just have to wait and see. I assume tool installation fails to load every other restart. That sounds strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
So if I remember correctly, there is a fix for this one. Is it the same one? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's already pushed. It's on master.
Yeah.
So okay. It's rather a test, not the fix itself, right?
So let me remember.
Test. Yeah, there is a fixed part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what we have to do, and I'm okay with doing that, is I just wanna make sure that it's done and like fixed and the rest of the issues below, we've already been through them, because I can see those are the ones that we already had in milestone 1.0. Any of you misses anything before the release 1.0?
Maybe it makes sense to review Jenkins Jira as well, because some people start reporting in Jenkins Jira.
Of course.
Yeah, and I hope that it eventually becomes an official way to report issues.
Okay. Remember the link to Jenkins Jira?
issues.jenkins-ci.org.
So yeah, there's this Gerrit trigger plugin compatibility, but
yeah, so whatever plugin compatibility is not a blocker for the release.
Yeah.
Unless something really crashes.
I mean, for me, that's something that should be solved on Gerrit's trigger plugin site, right?
Yeah, right. So when you see such issues, you can just remove configuration as code component.
Okay.
There is JCasC compatibility label if linking is needed. So you keep it here, but you remove configuration as code from the components list. And then you can change the assigner. So currently you are assigned to this ticket.
Yeah.
But you can change it to automatic assigner, and then it will be assigned to Gerrit trigger maintainer. Yeah, automatic. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Proxy authentication can work when added from Jenkins YAML.
What is proxy authentication? Plugins proxy. What's that?
I mean, that's the proxy for Update Center, or?
Why would it? Yeah, it's in plugins because effectively it's in a plugin manager.
Yeah.
So
that's something that we can. We want to treat as a stopper for 1.0.
Well, it looks important, and it looks to be a part of JCasC plugin itself.
Yeah. That I'm agree on, but we've agreed a couple of minutes ago that the plugin management won't be a stopper for 1.0.
Yeah.
The ticket is valid, of course. Then we have something
Resolved.
Okay.
Resolved. Yeah.
To open.
So extension point for marking generated items. Well, it's a much wider ticket than just the JCasC plugin. So effectively, it comes from the read-only web UI story. So when you open configuration pages, then you see which parts are configured by configuration as code and hence not editable, and others. So it's not related to JCasC really. It's rather a bigger engine in Jenkins somewhere.
No. I didn't want to do this. And this stack trace error on global configuration tool.
Instance missing singleton. Well, when I see these errors, yeah, it's the most likely Java 9 or above. And since there is no response from the reporter, I suggest just closing it.
Okay.
So resolve, incomplete. Okay, I'll just close it.
Yeah.
49 and 903.
Thanks, Alec. So, yeah, Jira doesn't look that bad.
Yep.
So let's go back to the milestone. As I said, I'm going to be on vacation. So hopefully we won't be available from next week, upcoming weekend to the next weekend. So the potential release date for me would be Monday 8th. Oh, let's do it 9 so I can have a time. No, it's not October the 19th.
So you're talking about 1.0 release?
Yes.
Is it okay to release right before Jenkins Vault when everybody will be traveling? I mean, if something really wrong goes with 1.0.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it here, and we're traveling like around here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying we can't release it earlier. I'm just saying I won't be able to release it in this week if we have issues solved. I can probably answer a mail every now and then, but that's it. And I think we really wanted to have it before Jenkins World. So if we don't introduce something really big, then if we solve the issues, then I don't know, maybe I'm too hopeful, but
no, it should be fine. In the worst case, we organize hackathon on the weekend before Jenkins World. Done.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna put 10, and I will try to keep my eye on the status every now and then when I have an access to the internet, and we'll see where we are. Well, okay, we have some time left. Anything else any of you would like to discuss?
Nothing from me.
Right, nothing on my side. Oh no, just not. So for Jenkins World, I've ordered some stickers with the JCasC logo, the new one. So, so for those of us who will join the Contributors Summit, both in San Francisco and Nice, you can come back with a nice sticker on your laptop.
I just got a new laptop and it's stickers free, so that would be a nice start.
Yeah, right.
Very good, thanks.
Yeah.
So we were having this meeting every second week, and we shifted because last week almost no one was available. So I suggest let's have another meeting 2 weeks after that, that one. So it will be like 12th of September, unless there is an urgent issue to have a meeting earlier. Then let's just synchronize on Gitter and see.
Yeah. I agree. Maybe it makes sense to add one more item to our regular agenda, just to talk about events related to JCasC. So yeah, there is Jenkins World, of course.
Yeah, but you mean to talk about it now?
Oh, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, then what else you have? For example, today there will be a Jenkins area meetup in Helsinki. So yeah, there will be a JCasC presentation as well. Here, and yeah, and actually there is a number of other meetups which present JCasC now. So yeah, it looks that it's pretty quite popular in the community.
Yes, there will be a meetup in Stockholm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have a link somewhere. I will try to find it.
Yeah. So I will be probably presenting JCasC in Bern September 11, I guess. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, by the way, there is a full agenda for Day of Jenkins, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the last one we added was Baptiste about Evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for pointing out the problem with my bio on the page. So I think we'll try to organize a meetup the day before Day of Jenkins' Code in Copenhagen too. It's just not announced yet and fully decided, but it's on my agenda for today to discuss that.
Right. So I'm arriving at something like 2 p.m.
Oh.
So I'm available for the meetup if needed.
Super nice. Yes, we are considering different formats. So as soon as we have some more clarified idea, I will contact you.
Okay.
And the meetup will be so at this meetup before Day of Jenkins' Code. Well, we don't want to repeat the same material we'll have at the conference the day after, and it will be open for anyone. So you don't have to attend the conference.
Yeah. So probably it's not even S code. Maybe something else.
Yeah, whatever Jenkins related, just kind of warm up. It's allowed to be S code, of course, but we're not limited.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's all I have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nothing specific from me as well. So yeah, I just think that listing events and talking about updates for them would be useful.
Yeah, like now you offered to be involved in the meetup, so I find it very useful.
Yeah.
That was a good idea. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything else?
Not from me.
Things are done.
Yeah, so I guess we can close the meeting. I will stop sharing.
Okay, then I stop the broadcast.